You let perfect. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Thursday night testimonial call. We're really excited to have you here. And a little bit about myself. I'm Dr. Caroline Williams. I'm a functional medicine practitioner. I've been practicing for 23 years, and I am currently in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I have been using LifeWave with patients for the last just under 2 years. And I've seen amazing things happen with my patients. They have as well. And also amazing things happen with myself. I have always been interested in the anti-aging regenerative aspects, preventative medicine. And so X39, LifeWave in general, is definitely a force to be reckoned with where that's concerned, especially with the ability to get stem cells, to make your own stem cells with this technology for a very low cost compared to injections, right? So tremendous opportunity here to regenerate your cells, regenerate your tissues, repair your DNA, and reverse the aging process, not even just prevent it, but reverse it, which is pretty amazing. So we get to hear from Miss Jennifer Newman tonight. I'm really excited to hear her story about how she got introduced to the patches and what they have done for her thus far. And I do also want to introduce my co-host, Miss Nikki McCutchen, and who's also a brand partner on our team. And Miss Nikki, we want to introduce yourself.
Yes, we are so thankful that you all are here tonight. Just know that someone really cares about you, that wants you to know about this technology, and invites you to the call tonight. Our call will be for about 30 minutes, and if we have new people on the call, we are going to be talking about the X39 patch that activates this amazing peptide in our bodies, and Dr. Caroline will hopefully have a few minutes to answer some of your questions. We'll start with our medical disclaimer. Dr. Caroline is a functional medicine doctor and chiropractor, but she is most likely not your doctor. So tonight, the information we'll be sharing is for informational purposes only. If you have any medical conditions, please check with your physician or healthcare practitioner. All LifeWave patches are not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any disease. If you are on medications or have a medical condition or are pregnant or nursing, please check with your physician first. We are so excited tonight that my sweet friend Jennifer is here to tell us about the results that she's had with the patches. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on the call tonight. Just tell us a little bit about how you got started with the patches and how long you have been wearing them.
First of all, I didn't know you did this before I knew you did this. So Nikki and I think we were at a dinner event. We were at an event together, and I had mentioned to her, kind of the group setting that we were with, that I've had this pain. I'll show you, because it's kind of, when I say it, you're going to be like, what? So I've had a pain in my groin area. So when I say that, I mean like right here for like 5 years. And when it first started, I was doing yoga. So I thought, oh, maybe I pulled something, maybe. So I stopped doing that. And 5 years later, still in pain. So I mentioned that to Nikki. I'm like, this pain. And I don't think I knew you did this at the time. I just mentioned it to her. And so she came over. She told me a little about it. And she was like, can I come over and pat you? And that was one afternoon. And so I had that issue, and then I have like chronic neck pain. So immediately I tried IceWave, and I put it on my pain area on my neck first. And she was like, okay, kind of move it around until it hits your pain point. And I was like, oh, immediately I was like, I can feel a difference. And so I went in for one concern, and that's my initial concern is alleviated. It's no longer. And again, that was for 5 years. So I'm like, what pain? And my neck, whenever I go to the chiropractor, she's always like, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at? And on my best days, I'm at a 5. And it's my best cure. I'll stay at a 5. And Nikki texted me that night after I put that ice wave on my neck. And she's like, how's your pain? What are you at? I was like, I think probably a 4.5. So immediate results. And so I had kind of 3 issues I wanted to attack, which was my pain in my leg, groin area, chronic neck pain for my entire life, and lack of sleep. So I was sleeping a good 3.5 to 4 hours a night, and that was on a good night. And the next morning, I texted Nikki and I was like, girl, I just woke up and it's 9 a.m. and that never happens. I never sleep past 6. And so when I had that good night's sleep, that was amazing. So I've been using LifeWave since November for about 2 months, but I will say that I saw immediate results, which I may not be normal. I don't know. But since I saw immediate results, I'm like, okay. And then I just kind of forgot about them. And then she would check back with me. How are you doing? I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't worn them in 2 weeks. So that's kind of the beginning of where I got started at.
Yes.
That's
So now
awesome.
you don't wear the ice wave. You're just wearing, are you wearing the X39 and the Eon, or just the X39? Okay.
Both of them. And
Those
then
two.
the ice wave as needed.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So yeah, when we initially started, we put the X39 and the Eon and the ice wave all on her neck because she's had this for her whole life. So, and her hip, wasn't, that was not, after she told me about her neck, I was like, let's just do your neck first and we'll think about your hip after this. But the hip pain was just gone, which was
Right.
amazing. So, yeah. Yes, yeah. And so your neck pain now, because you were 2 weeks, you just forgot about the patches. So your neck pain, how was that during that time?
What neck pain?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, yeah. And so now you still wear the X39 and Eon on your neck?
I kind of move them around. I'll move it to the back of my neck and then to my stomach.
Okay.
So I just
Awesome.
kind of.
Yes, very good. That's so awesome. Yes, I'm so excited for you. Like, I can't even imagine, when you were telling me like this neck pain that you would have for your whole life, that it was always above a 5. Like, I can't even imagine being in that kind of pain. So praise the Lord that the
Right.
patches worked so quickly, because no, that's not normal. It was very unusual. So yeah, so I was happy with the fact that we got you down to a 4.5. I was like,
Right.
okay, well, we've got
Immediately.
some movement. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So Dr. Caroline, tell us, how would this work? Why would the X39 and the Eon be able to tackle something like this for Jennifer?
Well, Jennifer, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and it's incredible. It's incredible that you had that pain for so long, and just with very quickly with use of the ice wave and X39 and Eon, that pain has diminished greatly. So that's what people need to know. They need to know that it's an option, because there's just so many people today dealing with pain on a daily basis, and they just don't know what else to do. Many times they're going the pharmaceutical route, but that only usually works for so long and creates other issues, right? So I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy that you were open to Nikki's suggestion and that she was able to help you. And I'm excited to see what happens over the next, 6 months with using that X39 and the Eon consistently. I think you're just going to see some other things change as well. So that's really exciting. So as far as X39, we mentioned a little bit earlier, That is the stem cell patch. And what it does is, what activates it is your body's own heat, your body's own light, and that will activate the patch to emit a frequency into the body to stimulate production of a peptide called GHKCU, copper peptide. And this peptide will activate stem cell production. And then those stem cells can be made into any other type of cell in the body that's necessary for repair and regeneration. So that's what's so amazing about stem cells, is that they can be made into other cells. So if you have, we've heard testimonials from people that have had kidney damage, like kidney disease, and their kidney disease, at least based on the diagnostics, improved, right? It was registering as normal on their labs. So that's pretty amazing. We will see changes in terms of, like you mentioned, Jennifer, people who have been in pain for long periods of time or have had injuries, and in a very quick period of time, that improves, and improves to such a degree that, like, you started out using Ice Wave, which is specifically for pain, and then it improved to such a degree that you don't even need the Ice Wave as consistently. So that, to me, says there's some repair that's happening to that area. So that's truly amazing as well. So pretty excited about, more and more people learning about LifeWave. I mean, it's been around for 20 years. That stem cell patch, the X39, just came out a few years ago, and the company has grown dramatically since that has taken place. So we're really excited about that. Eon, another patch that they make, which activates the parasympathetic side of the nervous system, which is the rest digest side. And many people lack strength in that side of the nervous system. Many people are what we call sympathetic dominant, and that affects your health in a multitude of ways, not in a good way, right? Like, obviously we need the fight flight activated when there is a time of crisis, but many people are locked in that state and it's affecting their overall health. And so the Eon can dramatically change a person's life that is the case. And so other things to understand about that is you actually need to be in the parasympathetic for healing to occur. So activating that side of the nervous system, especially before sleep, can really set the stage, and it can get you into the state where healing can take place. So really, truly important there. As far as labs are concerned, I mean, we see a reduction in cortisol, which is, of course, the fight-flight hormone. We see a reduction of that with the Eon. We see a reduction of inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, which is elevated when you have cardiovascular inflammation. So it's pretty exciting that we have a patch that can improve all of that, that can have an impact on all of that. That's non-chemical, right? It's a frequency, again, that's emitting into the body via being activated by your own light. And so it can change your state really quickly. And then anytime you want to change that, then you just take the patch off, which is great. So super excited about that. And does anybody have any questions about the technology that's not familiar with the technology? Or does anybody have any questions for Jennifer as well?
I have a question for you. Where would you put the Eon on at night?
So a lot of people put it on C7T1.
Back of the neck?
Yeah, like at the base of the back of the neck. Not everybody likes it there. Sometimes people have reported putting it there and they actually feel more tension. So if that ever happens, then my suggestion is you can move it to another area. You could move it. A lot of times I'll put it on the lower back. I try to keep it in the center line, the center of the body, but you can move it to lower back. You could move it to the stomach area as well. You could move it to, another popular place is the xiphoid process. Sometimes people will stack them. I will I will stack them as well. Like I'll use the Eon and the X39 together and I'll stack them, but I'll put the 39 first, the X39 first, and then the Eon on top of it. And then if I do that on that point, I don't get the tension, which is interesting. Yeah. So everybody's a little bit different. So you really just have to pay attention to how you feel when if if that's the best place for you or if you should move it.
Well,
Go
the
ahead.
excuse me, the X39 is
Mhm.
something that's worn during the day, right?
Well, you can use it either or. You can wear it during the day or you can wear it at night. You don't have to, you can do either or, right? You have the option to do either or. So
And
but a lot of times that's how I'll do it. And I always like to make sure everybody knows, drink plenty of water when you're using the patches. Hydration, yes, hydration is key for the patches to work effectively. And what you'll notice is the more patches you wear, the more that you'll feel like you need to drink water. Like you'll feel like, dry mouth easier, sooner, even in the middle of the night, I have water next to my bed if I'm wearing the patches at night, so I can, because I'll usually wake up and need to drink. So that's a good set yourself up for success where that's concerned. But drinking plenty of water is essential for this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions? Actually, I have a really quick question for Jennifer. And then if anybody else does, let us know. So you said about your sleep improving, you were just using the Eon at night to help with that, or were you using any of the other, like Silent Night or anything like that?
No, just the X39 and the Eon.
Okay,
But you were
awesome.
wearing them during the day, right, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, you
what
can do,
about the X39 would help her sleep? What would cause that?
I'm in my opinion, it's more the Eon, right? Because that activates the parasympathetic, it regulates cortisol. One of the top reasons why people don't sleep well at night is because cortisol is elevated and that disrupts sleep right there. So using something like the Eon is going to absolutely change that. So, and relatively quickly, right? And one of the things about the Eon, like if somebody asks me about, or if I'm introducing the patches to someone, I really make an effort to manage their expectations. Okay. And what I mean by that is I just make sure they understand that like the X39, they start wearing that and they may or may not feel anything right away. They may not with the X39. It's possible, depending. The Eon is one that I feel like if people are pretty in touch with how they feel, that one's more noticeable. Like usually if I put that one on somebody within 30 minutes, especially if they're sitting down and they're not like busy running, doing something, they usually feel a difference in terms of their relaxation. They'll just notice that they're more relaxed. Obviously the ice wave is noticeable right away. That's dependent on placement. But there's some, those are the two big ones that I feel like you notice right away, compared to some of the others. I will say though, like with the Alavita, if I wear that to sleep at night, I notice that. Like I notice that I'll start getting more tired with the Alavita on, and I'll sleep like solid through the night. Like I won't even get up to go to the bathroom, which is interesting. Yeah. So it's kind of different for everyone. Does anybody else have any comments on that as far as which ones they noticed right away?
I noticed the X39 right away.
Awesome. Awesome. And that was because of your pain, right? Because of the
That
pain
was
that
my
you had?
pain. Yep.
Yeah.
My
That's awesome.
shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
like 30 hours and I could move my shoulder 90 degrees where I couldn't move it 15 degrees before that.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yep. That's great. Yeah, like and if any, a lot of you which have been in using LifeWave for a lot longer than even we have, have you experienced that with where some people notice right away and then others it takes more time? Yeah.
I've noticed that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like it's important to understand that these patches do work, but there's not always, not everybody's going to experience instant results. Some people it takes more time, you know, it takes more
So I have a
time,
question.
but yes.
So when it doesn't work on somebody quickly, does that tend to make them kind of second guess the product, or are they willing to keep going at it?
It really depends. That's a good question. It really depends on the person, right? And I do think like how well we manage their expectations up front plays a role with that. You know, because I mean, being in practice for 23 years, I've learned that just with anything that I would recommend patients because, you know, like real change when you're talking about regenerating the tissues, it takes time. It takes time. And so, you know, like that's the thing that people need to understand because we're a society, our culture is we're used to instant results with taking over the counter NSAIDs or, you know, pain meds and things, especially those type of things, because it kind of hides the symptoms, right? And so we're used to things working very quickly. And so many times those are our expectations. But I think if we manage a person's expectations up front, like if they get instant relief, then great. But that does not mean that the patches are not working, if that makes sense. Yeah, it just takes time, right? And we talk about this a lot on our calls, but you know, your body's innate intelligence, which is what runs the body, right? It's what tells your body to your heart to beat, taking a breath. It's not like you have to use your conscious mind to do those things. It does it automatically, your autonomic nervous system. So the innate intelligence that runs the body also understands what needs to happen in any given moment to keep you alive. So it's always responding to our environment to for that purpose, to keep us alive. So when you have an injury or when you have damage in the body and now you introduce something to the body that the innate intelligence can now use for repair, say the stem cells, right? It's going to use it based on what's most important first for survival. So if somebody had some damage to their organs, that's going to be more of a priority over, you know, a musculoskeletal issue, in my opinion. So if somebody had a kidney issue and they had lower back disc degeneration or another type of strain sprain type injury, it's going to probably be used more for the kidney repair over the musculoskeletal repair, right? Because you
You
need
wouldn't
kidneys to
necessarily feel the kidney repair.
not necessarily, right? Like, but yeah, you would more likely see that in your labs that had improved. It's possible, depending on, you know, if somebody had kidney pain or something like that, that's always possible that they would see a difference there. But, you know, the point of that is the body's intelligence is going to use it in ways that we might not be consciously aware of until later on. You know what I mean? And then once that repair has gotten to a certain point, then it will start to be used on other areas. You know, I know we've had some people on the call that have shared their stories that Linda specifically on one of our calls said that she had a lower back spinal issue, and it took 6 months of consistent use with the technology before she got relief. But then once she got the relief, and I think she's that was like a few years ago, it like didn't ever come back. So she's been good since then, but it took 6 months. So I always try to help everybody know that it could take, you know, 6 months. And then they say, you know, a month for every decade, right? That's what most people need in terms of use. Yeah. So, and a lot of people, you know, they may trust everything that you're saying, but like a lot of people need to do their own research. I have a neighbor who he has a knee issue and he's in his 70s and he still works. And, you know, I gave him some patches because he just helped me out so much. And he didn't really see a huge difference right away. So, but I just told him, look, you just want to stick with it for at least 6 months, just, you know, stick with it. And I just gave him another set of patches and he was like, yeah, I haven't really noticed a whole lot yet with my knee, but like I've done my own research and I've just, you know, everybody is saying that this works. So I'm willing to stick with it, you know? So yeah, but it's awesome to hear stories where people get results right away because that is possible. It's definitely possible. So thank you so much for sharing your story, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's exciting and gives people hope for sure, especially people who have chronic pain.
I tell you.
Good night.